We're back. Oh my God.
Welcome to the subscriber episode where we tell you our secrets.
Secrets and lies.
Check this out. That last episode, we made all that shit up. Warren rocks, dude.
Oh yeah,
It's
you're voting
time.
for her, right?
It's time.
It's time for a woman in the White House.
It's time. What a song. You know what it is? It's time for this woman to go to fucking prison. But we're not talking about Elizabeth Warren only on this episode, are we, Liz?
Oh, no. We've got lots of stuff to talk on this episode.
So you know how a regular gun just shoots the one bullet? We're using a shotgun to major blast out all of our enemies. By the way, these are Lego versions of shotguns and
Yeah, parody.
guns. This is a parody medical diagnosis shotgun.
Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. Come here.
What? Okay. Hi, hello, Patreon. We're keeping it rolling. We recorded the free episode this week just minutes ago.
Time to record the freak episode for this week.
What are you doing with your cell phone? Will you put it away?
I am putting the fucking... No, do not do this to me. You know what I'm doing, Liz? You know what I'm doing? I'm putting the fucking timer on so I know where we're going and how long we're doing this for.
Okay, thanks, Brace.
You're not welcome.
This is what you guys pay for. Unfiltered,
Nagging.
raw.
Yeah, raw nagging. So yeah, we have, if people talk about Nixon having an enemies list like it's a bad thing.
You know what's funny? Nixon and Roxanne Gay have that in common.
She's got one?
She's like famous. She calls it her nemesis list.
And
you know what's funny is I
no
think
way I can talk about
she
her
like
respectfully.
won't say who's on that list, but I'm pretty sure that
Bernie Sanders.
Lauren Euler, who is an excellent writer and just wrote a really incredible review of Gia Tolentino's book Trick Mirror.
Ooh, can we not bring her up? Because me
No,
and
but I have
her,
to say that
we fucked around.
Yeah, okay. Well, I highly recommend this review. It's in the London Review of Books. It's it's a doozy. But Lauren wrote an incredible review, which I think is kind of what put her on the map a little bit, of Bad Feminist. Of course, Roxane Gay's unfortunately bestseller.
It's a bestseller.
I'm sure. It's in like airports
Yeah,
everywhere. It's like the
yeah.
quintessential airport book.
All right, put
for
in
airport
another one on the
minds.
prison list.
But yeah, she wrote. It was in Book Slut. Remember that website a long time ago? R.I.P.
I didn't remember that website.
Well,
when
it
was
was
that
like-
from?
Because it was like at the heyday of all the independent media blogs. You had like the Owl, Book Slut, all the.
I used to look at a website that just told you the history of hardcore bands called Kill from the Heart. And then I would look at Discogs. I did not look at, and then later I looked at Blue Light, I think it was called, which was a drug message board.
Anyway, everyone. I think that's what put. There's rumors that Lauren Euler is on Roxane Gay's infamous nemesis list because of that great review, which is another review you should look up. Her review of Bad Feminist in Book Slut. I think it's still online. You can find it. It's also a doozy. Pretty good takedown.
Oh, Lauren, she's kind of cute. So what? Is that wrong? We are talking not about Roxane Gay, but about all the people who read Roxane Gay books.
Yes, the Democratic Party. So on the previous episode, we kind of went all over the place talking about Lion Liz Wrecker Warren. Now, Lion Liz Wrecker Warren is, unfortunately, but also fortunately for our purposes, not a singular individual, is she?
No, she is actually a collection of ants encased in sausage casing.
No. I mean to say that she is a product of a structure.
Yeah.
The structure being the Democratic Party and its ideological apparatus. And what we were kind of trying to get at in this episode, or what we're going to do is get it through all your little piggy pea brains that the Democrats are not your friends.
No. And they're not even like they're not your friends guys that are like kind of cool with them. There's not like a tactical alliance. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. They are also in the exact same way as the Republicans are your enemy.
Yes. They are standing in the so I've said this repeatedly. Like Bernie Sanders might lose the Democratic primary, but would win the general election. Mm-hmm. Now, what does that mean for how we understand him in relation to the other party apparatchiks and also the Democratic Party as an obstacle for actual change rather than a vehicle for it?
Yeah, no, the Democrats are a roadblock to success.
Yes.
And they will try to prevent Bernie, as we're going to talk about some past examples of that.
Yeah.
But they are a lame mafia.
Yes.
Who are trying to stop our boy from becoming the country's capo.
Yeah.
Wait, not capo.
Oh.
Wait, no, capo's Italian too, right?
Yeah, it's a mafia thing.
Okay, well, capo's also
Capo with a C.
Capo with a C.
Yes. Yeah, and I think, can you imagine the Democrats opposing an Elizabeth Warren nomination?
No.
So when I say that Elizabeth Warren is closer ideologically to Hillary Clinton, I'm not lying.
No matter how many billionaires tears mugs she sells, actually, that's one of the things that brings her closer to Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, seriously.
And no matter how many fucking mugs she sells, or however many ready for Warren grad students that there are lurking in the gutters of this world, no, she is closer to fucking to Clinton. Yeah.
Yeah, she is a Democrat.
But Democrats, well, what is a Democrat? It is a liberal capitalist, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't liberal, sure.
I mean, they're liberal.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Friends out there in Radioland, we don't like liberals.
Well, here, guess what? Republicans are also liberals.
Yeah. Like, that's what... The word liberal is not a subjective term that because you live in America means left-wing.
Yes.
No, the word liberal is an objective... It's in a category that both Republicans and Democrats fall under.
Yes.
Some are more socially liberal. Okay, yes, I'll grant you that. But they are both liberal. The thing is, in other countries and in the rest of history of the rest of the world, or at least modern capitalist democracy history, when you say left, you mean a party or a movement that embraces worker-oriented politics.
Yes.
A different economic system. It is a battle of ideologies. In America, there is one ideology. There is no battle. Well, there is now, kind of. But there is one ideology, and that is liberal capitalist.
Yes.
So they're just different. Like, we don't mean this in like they're just like, they make fun of people for being like, oh, you think they're both the same? They are literally, they have the same ideologies, just different degrees.
Yes. I think, too, I want to be clear because I know that, or I think we have probably some little cap-wearing cosplayers out there who are like, well, Bernie Sanders is just a social democrat, like, meh, 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 meh. First of all, how's the factory uprising going?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, at the actual factory that I've spent quite a lot of time in the past few years, you know what the fella's like?
What?
You know what the boys down at the factory are talking about? Bernie damn Sanders.
Yeah.
And they're so, like, this is our opportunity right now. And if you choose not to recognize that, then you are a fucking fool.
Yeah, and I think that there's some, like, concern trolley Marxists that I want to just, like, acknowledge for a second, which is that they think that us advocating so strongly and forcefully as we are, politically, financially, otherwisely, for Bernie Sanders means that we're soft or we don't understand. It's like, no, you aren't actually doing any real analysis of the political situation in the United States.
Exactly.
Brace and I are not under the impression that Bernard Sanders is going to, institute the dictatorship of the proletariat.
No.
One, because we're not dumbos, and we know you don't elect communism, you dumbo.
Yeah, we're not the 19 fucking 80s Italian Communist Party, for God's sake.
But also because, and not because we think that all we need to do is get everyone healthcare and then all the problems will be solved.
No.
Or that might happen with a Bernie Sanders presidency. I don't know if we're even under that illusion.
No.
But what we do understand is that we have a rare opportunity to get the boot off of labor quickly. And that we are in a historical conjuncture that, look, this is the reality of the situation. Throughout the world, left labor is decimated.
Yeah.
And increasingly so as internationalist, and I don't mean that in the socialist way, I mean like globalist, internationalist, right? Organizations are accruing more and more power, where organizations like the IMF, the EU, the ECB, all the TPP,
Yep.
USMCA, etc., where this idea that the American empire is weak, that's wrong. It is not.
No, it's not.
It is not at all, right? So we are at a historical conjuncture where we have an opportunity to shift the trajectory of the ship, right? And if we do not take advantage of that, I'm not ready to do the analysis of where that leaves us.
Me either. I'm sorry. If
I'm
you guys
just
want a
not-
repeat of the fucking 1990s, have it on your own terms.
Right.
If you are listening, while you're listening to this episode, in fact, why not make text for the Sanders campaign?
Right.
Like, you better be doing everything you can to work your fucking ass off in the next however many months, even after your primary happens, to make sure this happens. And you need to be, like, militant and vigilant. And you can't give them an inch. We look at what happened in the UK when Corbyn's side gave in.
Yeah.
Right? They gave in to the enemy.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. But I just want to be clear that, like, you have to understand the theories of change here, right? And that means that, we have to take necessary steps and rebuild labor from the ground up.
Yeah.
And the quickest way we can do that in the shortest amount of time is, and this is the fucking rarest opportunity of your fucking life to have a goddamn left labor leader in the executive for God knows how long they'll let him be in there. If they even let him get there, which again, we will get to quickly get capital's boot off of labor just an inch. So we can get Wildcat Strikes Back. So we can get just a little bit more space from workers, from their bosses. So we can start the difficult work of organizing power from the ground up.
Because that's the thing, is when Sanders gets into power and when he enacts his labor plan, which, by the way, is like nothing that has been seen in generations in this country.
I'd say
actually
almost a century.
Yeah. That when that happens and we have this brief window before the courts try to take us down, you got to go fucking psycho. And that might mean quitting your fucking job as a fucking office worker and getting a job in transportation or Amazon or one of these places.
To agitate.
I mean, that means you actually have to work for it instead of just cheering people on that are doing that.
Or posting.
Exactly. And so, yeah, think about that. This is Bernie Sanders' plan. Just parts of Bernie Sanders' plan is like giving my union an atom bomb. It's like giving if fucking solidarity strikes become legal, that is like giving us that is several upgrades on the M16. That is like M90.
Yeah,
It really 150.
It really opens up actually a window to the future. And so I want to be like very clear and really like forceful here. Like, this is an opportunity that cannot be wasted because I don't know what comes next.
Well, I do know what comes next in this episode.
Yeah.
We got to talk about the enemy and dissect some past battles.
Yeah. So, Brace and I were talking and we said in the last episode that basically I don't, and this is kind of a running theme on our podcast, is that there's a lot of really exciting new left energy, particularly with Sanders.
Yeah.
But there's a lack of understanding of power, of what power means, of how you build power, and what power is actually going against.
Yeah.
And so who are these institutions? Who are these enemies? Like, we need to actually name them and understand them.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the biggest hurdles to a Sanders coronation in Milwaukee in July, aka the DNC, is the Democratic Party itself.
Yeah. Absolutely. And they will fight, and they fought him tooth and nail.
Yeah, so, a lot of what happened in 2015, 2016 has, not survived in popular imagination.
No, I think a lot of people were pretty heavily traumatized by it and don't necessarily want to think about it again. But also, a lot of stuff has happened.
Yeah. But it's weird because it's people just think oh, Sanders tried and he almost had it, but he didn't. But that's not what happened.
No, I mean, what happened was, if you look at this, even if you look at this in the most sober-minded way, clear-eyed way, you can see that Sanders was robbed. That he actually won states that they took from him.
Yeah.
That he won places that they denied his votes, his delegates, whatever. That they stole this from him. And people make a lot of jokes oh, Bernie supporters think it was rigged, or Russia told people it was rigged. If you are looking at the actual facts as they reported at the time, from publications that are unfriendly, notoriously so in some cases, to Bernie Sanders, you will see a broad picture. And we saw this at the time, but then we were gaslit by our enemies into thinking that somehow this wasn't true.
Yeah, and I think, the liberal consensus post 2016 with Hillary and Trump was oops.
Yeah. Whoopsie.
I think we all learned a valuable lesson and we can wash our hands and march to the left, and we've learned lessons and now we'll do better next time. And it's no, that's not what happened, And I do want to push back on, it's rigged, we were robbed sentiments, because I think it's easily self-defeating. And what I mean by that is, this is politics. This is how politics works. It's not fair.
Yeah.
People steal shit. And guess what? You gotta know that. You can't just scream, we were robbed, which, by the way, is what happened in 2016, because nothing's gonna happen. It doesn't matter. Suck it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put your big boy pants on, because this is the fucking big leagues. Okay?
Big League Jew.
Yeah. That's right.
You like that one?
That would be a cute, bubble gum.
Big League Jew?
Yeah. That would be so cute. Because with the Brooklyn Dodgers cap.
That would be adorable.
Oh my gosh. No, but I'm serious. This is the big time. So no whining, no crying in baseball.
There's no crying in baseball!
As they say. So suck it up and get ready, because this is going to happen. Okay?
Well, let's look, for instance, we're almost at Iowa, right? It's coming on up, and they're trying everything they do to take down my boy before he gets there. What happened, though, last time?
Well, okay, so people don't remember this, but Bernie Sanders basically won Iowa.
Yeah.
So the final official, and I'll get to that in a second,
So-called official.
count was Hillary Clinton 700.47 to Bernie Sanders 696.92. So we're talking about literally a difference of 4.5.
Yeah, and in the percentages, she got 49.84%. He got 49.59. She got 2 delegates more than him, 23 to his 21. However, she also got 6 super delegates as well.
Right. So we should say that now some progressives really lobbied to get rid of the super delegates. They didn't totally. So what's going to happen, and we can go through kind of what happens at the DNC convention maybe at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
But superdelegates still exist. They just won't be used or counted in the same way through the first round at the convention. But they come in to play in the second round, right?
Yeah,
So just
yeah.
keep that in mind. But so basically Iowa, here we go. This is the Des Moines Register, which just hosted a debate on CNN.
Yes, they did. A very fair debate, I thought.
Yeah. So this is what they said in their reporting about the Iowa caucuses. It was a debacle, period.
Ah.
Democratic officials, quote, refused to undergo scrutiny or allow for an appeal, and it reeked of autocracy. The Register's own editorial board saw opportunities for error amid Monday night's chaos. So, caucuses are, very complicated. And we'll get to Nevada in a little bit.
Yeah,
which
we'll go
is
to
also
Nevada?
No. Maybe.
Actually,
maybe we should.
Reno, baby.
But maybe we should go for the caucus.
Oh, okay.
Something
When
to
is
think
that?
about.
Yeah,
Something to think
we'll
about.
talk about this after.
Anyway, caucuses are crazy. You got people voting, screaming. You know how the whole thing goes,
Yeah.
right? It's not a primary where you just not gun sound chick chick.
Regular sound chick
Yeah.
chick. Yeah.
Pencil chick chick.
That's the pencil, one line down, another one up, making a check bark.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
The clip art chick chick.
Yeah.
Anyway. So they're very crazy. So it was crazy. They didn't allow the Sanders team to basically appeal delegate counts,
Nope.
vote counts. It was really crazy, and people don't remember how basically it was basically a tie if not Bernie Sanders won. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and the Bernie Sanders campaign afterwards, after this, actually were like, well, hey, we're checking sort of through what happened, and we see there's a ton of inconsistencies. We want to check your math to ours. And the chairwoman of the Democratic Party said, no.
Right.
You can't have our math. You cannot have the
They didn't have
documentation.
access.
No access. And that is a theme in 2016, is the Sanders campaign suggesting possible malfeasance, which very easy to believe, and then the Democratic Party denying them the ability to confirm or deny that by denying them sort of documents which would prove one way or the other.
Yeah. So, this was pretty nuts. So imagine a scenario then, if you will, where Bernie Sanders won that Iowa caucus.
Yeah.
Which is probably what should have happened. He then wins New Hampshire.
Yep.
This is a problem for the clown queen
The clown queen of crime.
of Clinton crime family.
Yes.
Miss
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton.
Uh-huh.
She was
One
too busy chilling
One
in
of the
Cedar Rapids.
dottiest thoughts I've ever laid next to.
Yes. So,
Yeah, he wins
this would
those
have been
first states. It's not good.
It's not good for Hillary, right?
'Cause when-
and actually, it was Harry Enton, who you brought up earlier, actually, of 538.
Yeah, horny guy, horny Enton.
He made clear as far back as June 2015, right? So they're just greasing the wheels here, that if Sanders was to do well in Iowa and New Hampshire, that the party would intervene to, quote, squash him.
Yeah, that's actually a quote from Harry Enton.
Yeah, he says, in that world, you're likely to see the Democratic establishment rush in to try and squash Sanders, much as Republicans did to Newt Gingrich in 2012 after he won South Carolina. That's 538. So I want to just compare that very quickly to a quote that came out recently. There was a piece in The Hill in just November of last year. Obama privately said he would speak up to stop Sanders' report, right?
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of rumors out there in the ether of journalism land that that Obama has said to aides privately that were Sanders to get close to the nomination, Obama, who famously likes to kind of stay above the fray
Yep.
in his sort of,
He loves to fuck his wife at their Netflix mansion. He loves to have sex with Michelle Obama at his mansion paid for by the website Netflix.
He said that he would, intervene to stop him.
Yeah.
So that sounds pretty similar to what Harry Anton reported the party was going to do in 2015. Keep that
Who's
in
more
mind.
elite than Obama?
Keep that in mind. And it also came out, that Obama was trying to speak to donors about Elizabeth Warren. You remember when that came out?
Wait, no.
Oh yeah, that came out last year, late last year.
Okay, that kind of makes sense.
So then Sanders goes on to win New Hampshire. Okay, that was like a big surprise for a lot of people.
Yeah, not to me, because of course I am born and bred New Hampshirean, and I can smell it in the earth.
Yeah, so that brings us to Nevada.
Ah, the gambling state.
Now, any of you who were online in during the posting wars of 2016 might remember the Nevada caucus because it was basically live streamed to all of left Twitter.
It was insane.
Yeah. So the thing that's complicated about Nevada, so many things.
Yeah.
The caucus is actually like 3 different tiers.
Yeah, you caucus to get someone to go to the next caucus or something. I don't really understand.
Yeah, and it's basically like there's the caucus to then get delegates to the next caucus, which then goes to the state convention.
Yeah,
It's very weird. And, so many interesting things happened in Nevada, which we should mention is run by Harry Reid.
Yeah, he is the boss of Nevada.
Who's, this is top brass of the Democratic Party. This
The
is
Adolf Hitler of Nevada, you might say.
Yeah, this is the same Harry Reid that assured David Axelrod that Liz Warren was not serious about Medicare for all. Mm-hmm. No one wanted to believe the 2 people that, are top brass in the Democratic Party because they are fucking dum-dums.
Yeah.
But they literally told you that she doesn't believe this, and you chose to look the other way.
You just pretended that she did and that they were lying.
Because you are unserious, and we're going to change that today.
Back to Nevada.
Okay. Back to Nevada. So what is one of the things that Harry Reid did to swing the Nevada caucus?
So I know that, there's a culinary workers union who I'm not sure if this was the same union that was a lot of stories around them not liking Sanders' healthcare stuff, but it's a big union, as you can imagine, in places like Las Vegas.
Sure.
And they were, I believe, going to sort of stay out of it and not really get involved in the caucusing, et cetera. But Harry
Well, there was
Reid,
because there was a lot of disagreements amongst the unions because Clinton, this is the same thing that's happening with Warren.
Yeah.
You've got,
Have any unions backed Warren?
I would not be surprised if she gets SEIU.
Oh, yeah. SEIU. Ooh.
If she
Yes.
sticks through.
I'm zipping my lips for that, but yes. That's
So-
a soft.
Yeah. So, but this is, look, you've got the top brass of union. I keep saying that, but the union bosses that are backing. Oh, she got Randy Weingarten is backing Warren, by the way.
Randy Weingarten is a piece of shit.
That's a big chuk.
Yeah, don't put it in. Don't put it in. We're leaving that ambiguous what that is, but wow, she's rotten. Writing a fucking op-ed against Medicare for all?
Yeah, it's really bad.
Whew, what if we took away your health care, motherfucker?
Oof. No, but so there's, and this is classic, that the union bosses and the rank and file
Disagree.
very, very frequently. And so this was a big issue, particularly because Clinton is not, let's say, liked, not a name that's well liked amongst the unions.
No.
So go on. What did Harry Reid do?
So Harry Reid calls up the casinos and he talks to the bosses and he gets all the workers out of work that day because their union was like, we will pledge to Hillary Clinton, our people there. And so that put her over the top. So yeah, basically Harry Reid colluded with the bosses of these workers who were at the time, no longer though, as Sanders leads among Latinos, primary Latino union at the time, they had done polling and knew they were mostly for Clinton. And so he got them all out of work to get basically funneled by this. It's a real business union to get funneled to fucking these caucuses to go for Hillary Clinton. Of course, she swept Clark County.
Right. Well, what happened that's so interesting is that, so when they got to the state convention, right?
Yeah.
These were the differences in delegates that were there. So keep this in mind. 1693
For Clinton, right?
for Clinton and 1662 for Sanders. So that would be a difference of 31
Yeah.
delegates, right? And that's not really good news for Sanders, no?
No, it sounds like he lost.
Except, listen to this. This is another number I want to throw out. 58.
What's that?
58 is the number of Bernie Sanders delegates that were not allowed to participate.
Oh, yeah.
So he had 58 delegates from the previous caucuses that were barred from the state convention from participating, which would have won him the state of Nevada.
Yeah. He lost it just because they were disbarred or something? Like
They were
decertified?
decertified. Now, okay, what does that mean, decertified? Well, you've got, like I said, there's 3 tiers to the Nevada caucus, right? So you've got the first tier. Clinton wins that narrowly, 52.6% to Sanders, 47.3%. Then you get the second tier, which is county conventions, okay? And that's on the county level. Now, Sanders won that, right? Because, and this is hilarious,
Yeah.
a ton of Clinton delegates didn't even want to show up.
They didn't even show.
They didn't show. Maybe they weren't getting bussed in by Harry Reid that day.
Ah.
So the third tier is the final state convention. And that's where the delegate counts get finalized. So it's kind of like you have the caucuses plus the county conventions, and they add up the delegates at the state convention, finalize those, and that's who wins the state of Nevada in the primary.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. So this is where things get weird. 9:30 a.m. There's still people outside trying to get in. Roberta Lang, who was the head of the Democratic Party in Nevada.
By the way, her Twitter's really funny.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just like a Tweety bird, and it's like her last tweet was, "I rarely go to McDonald's, but when I do, I'm always asked to pull around and wait." So wrong. What does it mean?
It's weird Trump cadence to that.
What is-
That's like
yeah.
an early Trump tweet, like kind of the Coca-Cola.
Yeah. I don't know what it means. She's of course a Biden freak.
So
Totally perverted.
at 9:30 a.m., still delegates outside the convention hall waiting to get in. Roberta Lang, head of the Nevada Democratic Party, right?
A real goblin.
So she's up there with Harry Reid in running the state and the state party. She decides to hold a voice vote,
Okay.
and that's where you say yay or nay.
This is my fight song.
And you say, it's a yay or nay vote. You listen for the yays, you listen for the nays. Whichever one's louder
Yeah.
wins.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what was the rule change that she was trying to enact?
What was it?
It was to basically discount the second round of delegates.
Okay. That sounds like it's a bit tilted in the favor
So
of
to
Hillary
only
Clinton.
count the results of the first tier caucus and not count any of the results of the second tier caucus.
Because the Clinton people didn't feel like they even needed to show up to that one. So,
Yeah,
Huh.
so basically she held a voice vote before everyone was even available to vote
yeah.
about whether or not to just throw out Sanders wins.
So usually when this happens, when there's like a really contested vote or when you can't tell which side won something, they usually go to paper ballots or electronic ballots. Of course, that did not happen. It appears a single time during this convention.
Yes. So I want to play Young Chomsky, if we may.
Yeah.
I want to play this clip of the voice vote so you guys can hear this yourself.
I will call the question. It has been moved and seconded that the temporary convention rules be passed by the body. All those in favor say aye.
So I think that's pretty clear.
What happened? Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's-
definitely the nays had it. Like
Yeah.
overwhelmingly.
Yeah, yeah. And well, it's funny. That lady, Roberta, went on like every fucking cable news program that there was weeks afterwards saying how she was threatened by the Bernie Bros. And that is something that you better be prepared for. Friends,
Yes.
because they will call you every goddamn name in the book. And you cannot budge on that. Like, you can't be like, yeah, well, they're right. We need to come. No, you can't change it. You got to go fucking insane for this. This is our chance. There's like I'll pull back for a second. But during that Nevada caucus, too, do you remember the chair throwing thing?
Yeah.
So, what's that guy? Ralston. John
Yeah.
Ralston.
What a name.
He reported in his website, Ralston Reports, that Bernie Sanders psycho fans were throwing chairs at and then afterwards it was reported, and when it was sort of aggregated among the line news media, that there was violence by the Bernie fans, which assumes it appears,
By the way, let's not say supporters.
so, yeah, that's how they refer to them.
Of course. Stands, fans, bros.
People who support the political program of Bernie Sanders are always fans or cultists. It's never like supporters.
Yeah,
It's
never
Clinton
political
supporters,
actors,
though.
never
No.
workers.
Like, yeah. It's
Just
always
just fanboys.
truck drivers and people
Also
like that.
never
Yeah.
women, by the way, just bros.
Yeah. And broads love Bernie Sanders. He's got mostly broads that
Bernie
like him.
broads. We're trying to
Yeah.
make that happen.
Anyways, there was all this talk about how the Bernie people were violent during this convention. Turns out Ralston made that up.
Yes, it was a complete lie. By the way, it was picked up by the fucking Phelan everywhere media circus.
Oh yeah, the pigs ate that up. They are little sloppy shits.
So I want to get back just because there's a little bit more about Nevada caucus. Because basically what happened was after that clearly fraudulent, insane vote.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, as you hear on the tape, she says this is not debatable and moves on.
Yeah.
It's completely anti-democratic.
Yeah.
They kick out the Sanders delegates, right? Those poor kids, and not, I'm saying kids affectionately. These are like adults, right?
Yeah.
64 of them. They wait patiently outside for 13 hours.
Jesus.
Because they're
Christ.
trying to get in because they know how serious this is.
Yeah.
Right? They brought in, and I'm not even kidding you. Look, Brace, here's a photo.
Yeah. That
They
looks to be
brought
a
in the
line of
cops.
Police.
They brought in the cops to protect and intimidate Sanders delegates, right? So when I talk about when we talk about we don't think people who don't understand this history or have forgotten this, that you don't know what you're up against. Like, they are going to do this again.
Yeah.
And this isn't rigging. Of course it is rigging. But guess what? Politics is rigging.
Yeah.
This is politics.
The whole thing
I'm not
is.
saying that we can there's no authority to whine to. We have to be our own authority.
Exactly. There's no, there is no neutral arbiter here.
No.
Like, that's what you got to understand. No one is going to come to help you.
Of course not. Of course not. And whining and screaming that it's not fair doesn't get us anywhere. Of course it's
No.
not fair. It's politics.
Yeah.
This
it's
is
capitalist politics.
This is what attacking power looks like. My advice is, if you are at any of the caucuses and any of the primaries, fucking record everything on your cell phone.
Yeah.
Because what happened with Nevada is that there was a hashtag, it's like hashtag Nevada caucus, and everyone was seeing these videos pop up on Twitter. And it became this like, oh my God, what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. And we need that times a billion. Because as we'll see, it's not just insane rulemaking, it's not just backdoor dealing that we're up against, but also just straight up voter purging.
Yeah. That was a big thing, I believe, in New York, right?
New York and California. So both New York and California had massive voter disenfranchisement issues.
Yeah.
I believe New York and by the way, okay, Clinton needed New York.
Yeah, she really did.
And it was close. It was close in the polling.
Here's the thing. Bernie Sanders, of course, originally from New York. Hillary Clinton, of course, not originally from New York, but
Yeah, what do we call that? Carpetbagger.
Carpetbagger moved there to misrepresent them. You like that one? In the halls of Congress, and so she needed to win because you're supposed to win the place where you're quote unquote from, right?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if Bernie lost Vermont? Never in a million years happened.
Yeah. So I want to also make clear that at this point, look, the race is close.
Yeah.
And in fact, this has also been wiped from popular memory. Hillary Clinton didn't even enter the convention with a pledged delegate majority.
No.
So New York, right? Big state.
Mm-hmm.
This is from WNYC. So this is this is real source. This is real news. And actually, this is a quote from the New York Attorney General. The New York City Board of Elections illegally purged over 200,000 New Yorkers from the rolls, violating the law and New Yorkers' trust in the institutions meant to protect their rights. So there was a settlement that New York came to with the Democratic Party because of the voting purges. So, again, voter disenfranchisement is not just a tool of the right.
No.
And no. I mean, and this was an issue also in California. Now, remember, or actually you might not remember, but I fucking remember this because I was in the voted in the California primary.
Yeah.
Is that the night before the California primary, which by the way, Clinton had to win.
Yeah.
And it wasn't clear she was going to. Mm-hmm. And it would have been it's a massive delegate hall, right?
It's one of the biggest, right?
One of the biggest. It would have been, it's like 400 delegates or something. It's insane.
Yeah.
So the night before, the AP puts out a news story to the wires.
This is the night before the actual election.
The night before the California primary. AP puts it out that Hillary Clinton has clinched the nomination.
That she has it, yeah.
This is not true.
No, it's not. It's baldly not true. They were also, of course, including superdelegate counts in the delegate counter at in 538, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
Even though those people hadn't technically voted or whatever yet for the nominee, they were still including them, and yet they were trying to make it seem like there was no chance for Bernie.
Yes.
Like it was already totally cinched and locked up.
So this is a tool of voter suppression.
Yeah.
So they're trying to depress turnout with this move.
Yeah.
But that wasn't enough. So in fact, California also had its problems with purging voter rolls. Mm-hmm. And it's not just that. They made it very tricky for people, and this hurts Sanders specifically. If you're registered in California as no party preference, they made it very difficult for you to vote in the Democratic primary.
Yeah.
They gave you provisional ballots. It's unclear if those are really counted.
Yeah, here's my thing about provisional ballots is do not vote early. First of all, if you can vote by mail and vote early.
Yeah.
Because as somebody who has participated in many elections from campaign team side, it is always you want that early vote haul. As much as possible because those tend conservative, and so you wanna sort of inflate your numbers there by voting early. But yeah, provisional ones you may as well not vote in a lot of cases. I mean, no, don't get me wrong, you should vote because if it's close, that will get counted. But and it will get counted probably anyways. It is, however, I don't trust them. I mean, in your fucking gut, these people are goddamn fucking liars. So don't trust them.
Yeah, so it's funny, NBC came out and said that California voters were right to sue the Democratic Party over the confusion.
Yeah.
With the no party preference and the provisional ballots.
Yes.
Because those people, by the way, overwhelmingly support Sanders has overwhelming support amongst independents and unregistered or newly registered voters. Mm-hmm. So the party making it very difficult / maybe not counting these votes was a clear violation of their rights. So there was an entire county that instructed no party preference voters that they could not vote,
Yeah.
that they could not be offered a ballot even if they asked for it.
Yep.
So there's an
I
entire
remember that
county.
because that happened to people I know.
Yeah. And there was a confusion even in different counties and in different polling places.
Yeah. I mean, here in the last election we did here in one of our biggest districts that we had, or excuse me, biggest precincts that we had the most voters at, they just gave people the wrong ballot. They gave people a ballot without our candidate's name on it. And of course, I mean, you can be like, well, maybe it was a mistake, but I mean, of course, all that stuff's intentional.
Yeah, of course.
Like
there was another.
you don't have to pretend these people are being fair. They're
literally
gangsters.
not. They are gangsters. They're
Yeah.
mobsters. Now, there was another issue in New York, but also in other states leading up to New York, where voters were finding out that they were registered Republican.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And then they were presented with their card that showed they were registered Republican, and they saw that their signature was forged.
Yeah.
So you had Democratic operatives forging signatures on voter rolls to change people's party preferences so they couldn't vote in elections.
Because here's the thing. Of course, they can't technically know how you're going to vote, but they can use software like Van and see like your past patterns. And I guarantee that you are in election software right now that shows that you are a progressive or that you are whatever. Like you're going to vote for the most left-wing option every time, or you're going to vote for the, I doubt many of our listeners, but you vote for the right-wing option anytime. So like, yeah, they don't technically know who you voted for always, or like how you vote, but they know the general way that you vote, the direction that you vote in.
Yeah, and just especially I want to highlight these, you know, when we think about the Democratic Party and its machine, where are they centered? California, Chicago, New York,
The big urban
Massachusetts.
centers, yeah.
Right? So, you know, you've got in New York, they had faulty voting machines.
Yeah.
They had polling sites that weren't open. They had barely any staff, so there were lines that would discourage people from voting. These are all intentional tactics, right? So think about this. Get ready for it.
Because they're going to do this again. In New York, I guarantee you might get purged. You might have to stay in a line around the block, but go and do it. All these other states too, like they're going to try to throw every fucking weird trick at you they can. They're going to try to do psyops on you. And you got to be strong. You got to be tough. Got to be a man.
Yeah, CNN, drawing on an LA Times investigation, noted that as many as 500,000 California voters could be disenfranchised by party rules and confusing minor party name. That's the Independent Party. Now, that's this little
trick?
trick.
It's like a Nazi party, basically.
Yeah,
right?
and it's so when a lot of people declare that they want to be an independent, aka no party preference.
Yep.
But there is on the California register, there's a party called the Independent Party, which is not a real thing, but it gets people to sign up for that, which makes them not able to vote in the primary.
Yes. God.
And the California Secretary of State, who, by the way, was a Clinton supporter.
Yeah.
Because all the apparatchiks were.
Literally to a man, the Democratic deep state was Clinton people.
Of course.
Through and through. Partisans.
They refused to remedy the situation, which they knew about months prior to the election.
Yeah.
So also, just know this, okay, fine. Not all of the upper echelons of the Democratic Party and the DNC are, Clintonites. They probably still are, but Clinton's not in the election, right? There are no Bernie Sanders people in the upper echelons of the party.
No, like even in the time this passed since 2016, it's not like he has like bureaucrats that are Sanders people. So all of the rules, if they can be bent against him, will be.
Yes, and the party was aware of this from the beginning.
Well, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, remember her?
Oh, do I ever?
From the get-go,
Little
this lady
Debbie.
said, Little Debbie, that Bernie Sanders will, quote, never be the nominee.
Yeah, we gotta thank
Sounds like a fair referee.
Yeah, we gotta thank our friends at Was it WikiLeaks?
Yeah. It was WikiLeaks.
With the
emails came out
Podesta
of it.
emails. My God, what a treasure trove.
Boy, is there a lot of those that just basically say, like, yeah, it was rigged. We rigged it. We're rigging it right now. I mean, remember when Hillary Clinton got the debate questions ahead of time?
From Donna Brazile.
Yeah. Donna Brazile.
She had to resign.
Isn't Donna Brazile on the fucking... She's like on a Fox version of The View. She's like on a show with
Yeah, because
Greg
she wrote
Gutfeld
a
now.
tell-all
Yeah.
about the primary.
Yeah, she seems a
She
little
kind of burned
bit...
her bridges.
Kind of seems a little slow.
She does a little
be
bit.
honest with you,
but
like
we have
it-
to say, CNN, Clinton News Network,
Yeah.
colluded with Donna Brazile to get
The questions
to
inflict,
Clinton.
I believe, yeah.
early, so she had the primary questions. Now, who just worked with CNN on a story?
That'd be Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Eichmann Warren.
Funny.
Yeah,
Funny.
I mean, it's if you think there's malfeasance happening, brothers and sisters, there is.
Yeah, that reminds me, actually, we forgot to bring this up, but this is true. Elizabeth Warren never faced a question about her Native American heritage during one of her debates with Scott Brown
Yeah.
because she was fed all of the questions prior and got to approve them. And this was confirmed by Boston media at the time.
Yeah, and they'll do this again.
They'll
too.
do this again, of course.
It's the only one. Only Sanders gets asked when you stop beating his wife.
Yeah, wait. What was it? This is another great quote from Lil Debbie. That superdelegates are there to ensure elites, quote, don't run against grassroots activists. Literally
Very cool.
coming out, saying the quiet part out loud.
Love it. We love it.
We love to read it. We love to see it.
So what's going to happen with the superdelegates in this upcoming convention? So because you said you would explain, and I am stupid. I'll be honest with you. I hate Democrats.
I know.
And by the way,
It's wild how much I
pledge
know
you
about this stuff,
If
isn't
Bernie
it?
Sanders is not the nominee, I won't vote.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're not voting for I don't like the Democrats.
I haven't voted for a Democrat in over a decade, and I certainly don't plan on doing it anytime soon.
And there are millions of people like me. But go on with superdelegates.
So, okay. I know a good amount, but I don't know all the ins and outs.
Yeah.
Of how this is all going to go down. But from what I understand, there were Sanders supporters who petitioned really hard through the DNC channels, including, I think, Nomiki Konst. Mm-hmm. Is that how you say her name?
I don't know.
But you know who I'm talking about, right?
Nomiki Konst, yeah.
Yeah, I think she was one of the people who worked on this, but I'm not sure.
She did a lot of work around the 2016 election, so I wouldn't be surprised.
But the post, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So basically, they wanted to get rid of superdelegates entirely, and the party said, no.
Perhaps not.
But the compromise was that the superdelegates would only come into play on the second round.
So sort of like a tiebreaker.
I mean,
Or
it's not a
whatever.
tiebreaker because it's not a fair
tiebreaker.
fight.
Yeah, because so for
But
instance...
so if, for example, there is no pledged delegate majority in the first round of the convention, meaning no candidate has the majority threshold, which
I don't know.
I don't know it off the top of my head. I want to say it's like 1,600, 1,400, but I can't remember. I mean, it's there's a number.
Yeah.
I could look it up. But all the best polling that I look at right now, and I can give you, maybe I'll send out some of my sources on that, says that there will not be a pledged delegate majority going into the convention, which is
No
a
one
problem.
will have one.
This is a problem.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons, which I will get to. But okay, so in the event of no pledged delegate majority in the first round, it has to go to a second round of voting. Now, in that second round, quote unquote superdelegates can vote.
Yeah.
This is a problem for our good friend Bernie Sanders because he will not have a majority of superdelegates. Because the superdelegates are high level
I mean, they're
party
bureaucrats, leaders, etc.
fundraisers, party leaders.
Sons of bitches.
He had I think he had 48 pledged
he
delegates.
had a few, and I remember they got really,
But
really
to
got
like 600.
because he tried. Yeah, exactly. She had the overwhelming majority. He tried to get some as well. He tried to lobby some, And then he was lambasted in the media because he had complained about superdelegates before. They're like, well, look, he's trying to get them. It's like, yeah, he's trying to win the election.
Yeah,
By your insane rules.
Yeah. So, and just to remind people again, Hillary Clinton did not have
Enough pledged delegates.
to reach the threshold without the superdelegates.
Yeah.
Right? So this has been written out of history.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Sanders were much closer in actual voting.
Yeah, absolutely.
She won because of people who don't vote.
Yeah.
Okay. So the problem for so let's talk about Milwaukee, July, the DNC.
Uh-huh.
What we know is that Sanders has to win on the first ballot because the superdelegates come into play on the second ballot.
And they're not for Bernie.
He will not have a majority there. No.
No.
And that can tip the scales for let's say Joe Biden,
Yeah, yeah.
which is who it would be in this scenario. People like to throw around this idea there's going to be a brokered convention. I think that's insane. I really don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
That's like a weird West Wing fantasy in my
Yeah.
mind. I think people
But potentially, if there was, I could be president.
well, anyone could be president. I will say that I've heard that
But I'm under 35. I'm 22.
I've heard that Mayor Pete has his own special brokered delegate team because
Really?
he knows. I mean, it's not that surprising,
Yeah, I guess it's not.
but he knows that his only way on the ticket is through some sort of deal making that
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Oh,
Now,
he wa-
I don't
yeah.
think Pete is going to get enough delegates where he would be able to, let's say,
got
offer up
leverage.
a prize pig
Yeah.
for anyone. But, and this is crucial, Liz Warren possibly could.
Yeah. And she could. I mean, here's the thing. In your heart of hearts, listeners, who do you think Warren's delegates would be pledged to if not for Warren? Like, who do you think she would give them to?
Do you think she would accept the VP from Joe Biden?
Do I think she would accept it? I don't know, honestly.
I think she would 1,000%.
Yeah.
So I've talked to people who try to convince me that the unity thing is good because it's progressive activist groups holding Elizabeth Warren to task. And I was like, okay, so you've got progressive activist groups that, what are they doing? Okay, they're getting out the vote. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know. What else are they doing?
They're not blowing up train stations.
They're not, let's say, funneling millions.
Kidnapping the head of the IMF.
The idea that these organizations, including some, new organizations such as Sunrise, wields the type of Goomba
Power.
that
You heard her from here. She's a Goomba power person.
the Democratic Party apparatus
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
is ridiculous to me.
Yeah, of course.
So I do not believe there's any scenario, particularly after this weirdo tiff, where Elizabeth Warren would give her delegates to Bernie Sanders on the second round, where we know he can't win because of the superdelegates.
Yeah, I can't see that happening at all.
So look, this is a woman who just decided to have like a reality TV-esque fight with her quote unquote good friend. Instead of lambasting and attacking the man who wrote the bankruptcy bill that she built her career fighting.
It's insane.
Like, you people are dumb noodle brains.
You got Jello in there.
Like, wake up, sheeple.
Jesus Christ. They're not your friend. You have no friend in the Democratic Party.
You're not pushing them left. They're not coming to your birthday party.
No. They're gonna fuck your mom, take your shit, and piss on you.
Yes, they do that literally already, and you still go back for more because you're little piggies, and you can't get enough.
Snuffing out the truffle in the dirt. That's what you are. You're a fucking hog. But we like you.
We do, because we see potential.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we do.
Okay, so there's a lot more. You know what we should do?
What? Laser tag? No, paintball. Dude, we should paintball.
I'm just scared. You know, I bruise like a pear.
I know it's not that hard though. It's like it's not that it doesn't hurt that bad though.
I mean, I really
you think
think
it's gonna, but it's what?
You know, people got to go back through and read some of this stuff because
Paintball
I think
manuals? Oh, no. Yeah.
about the Democrats. Like I
Yes.
just, you know, I feel like I've been pulling my hair out for like 3 years because watching all these squishy progressive journalists try to whitewash what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
And you're right, gaslight Sanders supporters.
Into supporting a white power, because let's be clear, white power, a woman who says she is a capitalist, like we're not just misquoting her. We are not misquoting her. This woman is dedicated. Her entire project is the shoring up of capitalism. To keep you in penury, in wage slavery, to make sure you can never pay rent again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we made a really good case against Liz Warren for people who didn't already dislike her.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think the best case against her for that is tying her to Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and the center of the Democratic Party. Now, this is my thing. Joe Biden, I want to hear what would the differences be between a Joe Biden presidency and a Trump presidency?
It would just be bad but different.
Like what?
Like, it would probably be less conservative judges.
I don't think so.
I think there would be less conservative
Okay,
judges. I
it would
still
be
think you
less
appoint
because
conservative
Congress
judges.
wouldn't appoint any
But
judges.
there's no difference happening at the border. They might be. Certainly, the media will stop giving a shit the moment that a Democrat steps into the White House. What
Yeah.
happens at the border? There'll be a hubbub like the first month about how deportations haven't stopped, and then you will never hear another fucking word about it. USMCA still a go. Will not be canceled.
No, and it'll probably end up being more like the TPP.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Unions continue to plummet. No help from the federal government. You will see abortion rights curtailed. And what else?
I think you're going to see, you know, Obamacare will continue to wither.
Yeah, there won't be the thing is the Biden health thing. There's
That's not going to be a
nothing's
thing.
going to happen.
No,
Like,
nothing's going to
it's
happen.
like
There'll
just
be
made up.
maybe some. I don't think they're going to do anything.
There might be a bill for a tax credit, but like there's not going to be like you have to understand. We're not arguing with Biden's health plan. There is no plan there.
Yeah.
Like there is nothing. This is the system right now that is working. It's working perfectly for Biden.
So, okay, what would happen then under an Elizabeth Warren presidency?
Oh God, we won't hear the fucking end of it. Jesus.
Well, this is my suspicion. This is what I know about Elizabeth Warren. She has no friends in Washington.
yeah. Well, neither do I.
Okay, but she would be president.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She
that's
has
true.
no friends in Washington.
Yeah.
She, like, famously, she has no friends in Washington. Actually, one of her friends, Bernie Sanders, she just shivved.
Yeah. 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 She did.
But this is funny. Say what you will about Hillary Clinton. And Lord knows I got lots to say.
Yep.
Girl knew
Yeah.
where the bodies were buried.
Absolutely.
She had a
Literally,
Rolodex.
She actually buried some of the bodies.
Yeah.
Quick climb.
She did a Rolodex 20 years long of favors that people owed her.
Mm-hmm.
So if she was going to get something done in the first 100 days, God knows what it would have been. But she would have gotten it done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Liz Warren will be impotent.
Yeah.
She will be impotent to Republican.
You will see such a massive gains made by Republicans that you will like this country will be forever transformed.
And she will be, and she fundamentally doesn't give a shit about foreign policy. And when she does, she's hawkish.
Yeah.
Because she gives into DOD contracts.
Yep.
Which she has done repeatedly as a Massachusetts senator because of all the, you know, bases and arms development that happens in the state, right? So, and intelligence companies in the state.
Yes.
So, you're going to see Samantha fucking Power at state or God knows
Absolutely.
what.
I bet it will be Samantha Power.
Yeah, girl boss.
Yeah.
She's going to girl boss it up. And you're going to see, I mean, look, and other people have written this article and written pieces about this. You know, there's reasons to believe that Elizabeth Warren is more hawkish than Obama.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh, because of her foreign policy team.
Well, her team and her statements.
Yeah, I mean, it is really... So I listened to an episode of Elizabeth Warren on Pod Save America, which we're part of the Pod Save network. We're on Crooked Media. They have a pro-pedophile podcast, and we balance it out with an anti-pedophile podcast.
Gotta hear both sides.
But first of all, she's asked about being a capitalist and standing for Trump and clapping during that whole thing. And she's like, well, listen, I believe I'm a conscious capitalist or whatever, like whatever she calls it. It's just nonsense. Total slavish, idiotic, and psychotic just worship of the market. But then they ask her about Venezuela.
Oh, God.
And she's like, oh, the Maduro regime, blah, 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 blah. And then she's like, we got to use sanctions. And her big problem with overthrowing Maduro and in the installation of Jean Guaido is that our allies were not fully with us. That she's like, well, we just got to get
We just
paid.
needed a new coalition of the willing.
Exactly. And that we need to pressure Maduro to step down and install a right-wing government, but we need help pressuring him.
Yeah, this is just, again, this is Samantha Power nonsense.
Yeah.
So-
This is the shit that in the country that we're trying to build will land you in fucking prison for saying.
Yeah, it's really bad. The Sanders team hasn't used this, but I wonder if it would work on a lot of people. Maybe you guys can try it out with some of your parents or family members. But Sanders, not Warren, not Biden,
Yeah.
is the one who actually has been carrying the fight to keep Obama's legacy.
Yeah.
Which is a really funny look. I don't give a shit about Obama.
Yeah.
Lord knows I hate him.
Uh-huh.
But it's a pretty funny thing because Sanders is the one who voted against the sanctions in Iran.
You hear about this a lot because the sanctions were tied to sanctions on Russia.
Right.
as well.
But people get mad at him for voting against that. Well, guess what? That is what was trying to save the Iran nuclear deal.
And he was explicit about it at the time. He was like, I am voting against this because of the sanctions on Iran that are trying to scuttle the nuclear deal with Iran.
Yeah. Same thing with saving the patient protections
Yep.
and Medicaid expansion under Obamacare. Led the fight.
Yeah.
So maybe use that. But I will say this, there's other stuff about Liz Warren. The risk you run of having a impotent and somehow
Stop saying impotent.
rhetorically tied left-wing president, even though, as you've listened, she is not left-wing. She is center right.
But they will paint her like that, and
Of
she will
course.
be, yeah.
Is that, and look, I don't even think she would win against Trump, so whatever, but I'm just,
There's no
for
chance in
instance,
hell she would win against Trump.
no, it's, oh my God, she's
Think
such
of
a
it this way.
liability.
Think of it this way. If Bernie Sanders is the nominee, Trump will pull out of all debates and not do them. If Elizabeth Warren is the nominee, he will try to schedule as many as possible.
Yeah, we're going to run an Ivy League professor against
The
Donald
guy who
Trump.
eats McDonald's on the plane, like you would love to do.
You fucking morons. You did this with Hillary. You did it with Hillary.
It's not going to work. Go on.
But the problem is that it'll kill any kind of left-wing argument for the foreseeable future, and it will speed up a realignment where labor, after being fucked over and over and over again by the fucking Democrats, which we're now looking at 40 years,
I would just
is
argue
gonna
forever.
stop coming back.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
And you know who's gonna be standing in the wings? Tucker fucking Carlson.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this is a real serious threat, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these people will retreat to the Tucker sort of like.
Look at what
national
happened at
community.
Labor.
Look what happens in Europe.
It's all over the place. So when we said at the beginning of this 2-part mega, we got to shut it down now, extravaganza, there is a very, very narrow window that we have to turn just slightly turn this ship.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, we're dealing with, I can't even go there yet.
Here's the thing. If we do not fix this, if we don't get Bernie in there, like, you want to call what Trump's doing now fascism?
You have no
Wait
fucking
until you
idea.
see term 2. Wait until you see what fucking comes next. And if you see like Elizabeth Warren or one of these other ineffectual fucking liberal fucking
Technocrat regulating
just
bullshit
pieces
academics.
of shit, if you see one of them like lose against Trump, like, the world has been sliding further and further to the right
Yeah.
for over a decade, for decades. Because there is no Soviet Union anymore. There is no
Right.
other pole. This is not a multipolar world. China basically exists as solely like a market force. It does not exist as
It's like the company of China. It's like not even a country.
Exactly. It's not the left-wing political force that the Soviet Union was. But there is no alternative. They talk about end of history. Like, this will be the end of history. But it's not going to be liberal democracy. It's going to be something else. You're not going to like it. It's not going to like you.
Well, that's a great way to end the episode.
Yeah, anyways, AR-15, I just got one.
Yeah, you
Loving
got
it.
some messages about how to help you
I
fix
know.
it.
Yeah. I'm
So
going to thank
thanks,
you very much
listeners.
to our Patreon subscribers for teaching me how to fix the safety. Definitely, we'll invest in AK next because this is super complicated, dude. What am I, a machinist?
So we just did 2 extra long episodes, guys.
We've been recording for like 3.5 hours now.
Yeah, I know. Well, we had lots to say, and
Yeah.
we did hype it.
I smoked an entire Juul pod.
Did you really?
That's 20 cigarettes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Heads up, we are going to LA.
Yeah.
We're doing our live show.
Probably by the time this comes out, we will be gearing up to do it, right?
Yeah. Saturday, Sunday, 25th, 26th. Check it out. Zebulon.la.
Liz just looked at Young Chomsky to be like, you better do the fucking effect on that.
Please.
Seriously, do it on her. She's been texting me about it a lot.
Why?
Yeah.
But that means that we're not going to be back in town to record till a little bit late next week.
So what we have
So-
done is we did this marathon recording session today.
Yeah, because we like to be nice to you guys and keep you in mind because you guys get thirsty
And
and
guess
send us
what?
messages about when's the next episode. So I'm just giving you a heads up. Going to be a little late next week.
And I even bought a recorder so that if we are in LA and there's someone I want to talk to, possibly Eric Garcetti, I can do it. I guess I'll just arrest him if I see him. But listen, we are trying. Please stop DMing us.
Okay. BernieSanders.com. Give money, give time, download the app.
Do the texting shit.
Text it.
Do it with
They
a
really
text.
want you to do that.
Yeah.
So
And give some money.
give some money. You got $5. You got $27.
Exactly.
Cool. We'll see you on the flip side. I'm Liz.
I am Bernie Sanders. We are joined by producer Jane Sanders. Just kidding, it's Young Chomsky. And thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.